Time to get your weekly sports fix
By the skin of their teeth they lost.
You know, and then you can just ride it the whole thing.
with Stix.
What else you got going on, homie?
Man, nothing, man. But like I said, here comes the crowbar. Look, we're international. Shout out to India, but we got to keep it real and bring it home to our side. And the tentacle is moving. Guess what we just found out? We got an under team, y'all. The Kraken is playing defense.
You've been doing your
Also
research,
means
homie. I know
they
you're
are
on that.
not scoring. They're not scoring goals, right?
But they're still winning though.
They're
Finally.
are winning.
Finally
That's
got
what I'm
some-
saying.
Finally got some defense and finally got some goaltending after the first freaking what they've been on the last 7 games. Finally got some good goaltending going on. So
And Pete, and look at this tale of the 2 seasons last year. Die hard over team. You could book it. You could throw money blind at it, and they were going to hit nonstop consecutively. This year, team cohesion. Like I told you, now they're tight. Now they tight. Now they're playing defense. Now they're playing to win, which is, you know what I'm saying, it's materializing in the record. Look at the boys out here in 3rd place, you know what I'm saying, and climbing. But if you want to make some money, it's getting harder to figure out where the Kraken are going if you're doing that kind of thing, because I just like looking, because just knowing the fact that they are, if I'm not mistaken, to the under 8-1 or 10 and something or something wild.
so it looks like I think they're like 10-17 on the under for the year. And 9-17 on the under 1P. It might even be 11-17 on the under 1P, but
Right.
you like you said, it's
to the
definitely an
game
under
total.
team because remember it was only the first week where they were hitting those overs because I was at over 1.5 first period. It was like the first week they were like 6-2 or something after the first like 8 games. And then it hit different after that. So
And I looked because I wanted to see if they're really playing defense, and and I pulled it up, and they're actually, I mean, they're middle of the pack in goals allowed, goals against the game. I'm telling you, so they're really playing defense out here with these big boys. So I'm not even mad at them, man. Shout out to them, man.
hey, I forgot to show off my USA t-shirt when I was we were talking a little World Cup. Dang,
Boys ready out here.
let's go. I got a USA hat somewhere in a million boxes I got around this place. Speaking of gambling news and talk about over and unders and all that, how about your boy Yasiel Puig? What the hell is going on with him?
Hey, him and Kimming, it was him.
He's trying to do
it
the
was
Pete
Calvin
Rose?
Ridley. It was Pete Rose walking to a bar. That's what happened.
Calvin Ridley, Pete Rose, and Yasiel Puig all hanging out in the same spot.
Chopping
What
it
was
up
the,
about sports betting.
That was in 2019. Was his last year over here? I think it was. That he was doing some underground betting.
Well, see, here's the thing, though. If you owe a bookie that much, okay, right? The news gets out, because they're saying like Pete Rose or some of these other guys where we have to sue this dude to get our money back. Pete Mickelson comes to mind when I think of that, right?
Just say Pete Mickelson.
Phil. Him too. I'm glad Pete Rose is on my mind. But yeah, so that it comes around when I think of that. But at the same time, he owed the money to a former teammate when he was down. When he was in between going from the league to the show. This is a teammate who is taking bets from him.
A former, like a former minor league player or some shit.
How you not
that he
pay
was
your
teammates
teammate?
with.
Yeah, this is like some people I know who be out here reneging on fantasy football. Quiet on the set.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
I don't know. Nothing. Not in this league. Not in our league. Not in the
took me a minute,
This
but that
is funner
story
league.
came back around.
Maybe a different league. There's might be a couple things going on. Everybody's out
All
there
right.
getting there.
Since I got y'all in, I'm gonna let y'all breathe real quick. Y'all got 5 minutes, man, to wrap up the award situation for Major League Baseball, man, and how y'all feel about what happened. Yeah, I mean, y'all got a lot of gusto invested into a couple of these winners.
I was a little surprised, not blown away, because Paul Goldschmidt is a stud. But I was a little surprised because you're talking about a guy who I don't remember the last time we had an MVP that didn't lead the league in anything.
Yeah, he really did.
You know, and now that does not take away because he was ultra important in St. Louis. But when you look at where he ranked offensively, it was 6th, 5th, 3rd, 4th, 5th. So he's that quintessential guy that I did a little bit of everything, but I did not dominate anything. Judge didn't surprise me. I wasn't even shocked that I knew he would not be unanimous. Was not shocked that it was 28-2. Only because as good as Ohtani is, it's tough to be MVP when your team is 40 games below 500 and 35 games out of the playoffs. Because the argument is simple. How much worse were they going to be without you? You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously they'd be worse. But
so the playing both sides don't counteract that?
No, because you're still. I agree with what you're saying.
And now it doesn't, and I'm glad that.
I mean, I don't know,
because they gave it to him last year because of the fact when the Angels were still shitty last year, right?
So I want to get back on Big Homie's point. I agree with what you're saying. He led the team in home runs and RBIs. He was way up there in wins and especially ERA. But it's tough to call you a most valuable player when you do all those great things and you're 40 games below 500 and some other dude hit 60 home runs with 300 batting average and went to the playoffs. So that's I told Jason, I think the reason he won it last year and not this year is because the only other guy he was facing last year, his team didn't go to the playoffs either. So when your two best players aren't going to postseason, well, then the games under 500 doesn't matter. But now that you're going against the guy whose team won their division, the games.
That's right.
Even though you're not the reason they're under 500, that record still counts. You know, so.
Well, I think I'm glad that Judge got it over Ohtani because we didn't want to see that again going in, because just like we talked about last year, if you're going to give it to him, you're going to give it to him every year. I think they finally realized that it's not going to be, and I think Aaron's point was great too, that it was, you know, how your team actually did throughout the year. Are they really going to be any better if he wasn't? I mean, are they going to be any worse if he wasn't there? Probably not, or whatever. So we'll see. But, you know, I think that we talked about last week, homie, we talked about the Cy Young with Verlander and Alcantara from the Miami Marlins. Pretty much hands down on those two. And then a big shout out to the National League Rookie of the Year. Oh, okay. We gotta give. Aaron was giving me shit earlier, so I have to shout out Michael Harris, even though he did play in 16 less games than J-Rod did, and had less RBIs, less stolen bases, less home runs. But you know, you got to give a shout out to the kid in Atlanta.
What's going on here?
First off, not by a lot. Dude was only 6 home runs less and like 5 stolen bases less. So it wasn't like he was way behind Julio. Now, and I'm not knocking Julio. Julio is a star. But when we say he had fewer numbers, let's not give the.
Well, I just making sure we put that out there.
He had like
just making
15 fewer home runs and 20 fewer stolen bases. He played fewer games and was 5 or 6 away in each of those categories.
Well, shout out to the AL Rookie of the Year. Speaking of J-Rod, you know.
What do you know about that?
There we go.
You let him get away with that. You see how fake that was? You threw all the flowers he threw on this kid he don't even care about. I'm listening to this going, I can't wait to hear this.
Rise, baby.
Yeah. So this paves the way for this Julio conversation. Damn it.
Did you get the email with the write-up? Because we only had Julio.
Yeah, so I had to give him a little shout out.
He didn't even have the National League Rookie of the Year in the write-up. I had to talk him into it. So yeah, you're right. He threw a bunch of flowers. He wasn't even gonna name the kid.
No, I
He was
wasn't.
gonna be like
Yo,
National
All the
League
J-Rod
success.
show.
He was
All
gonna
the
name
J-Rod show, baby.
winners.
Go
Wow.
Mariners.
Keys and
One rookie of the year. That's right.
You got
Rookie of
guilted
the year,
into
the
giving
only
this
one that
boy a
matters
small
is
amount of credit for winning a huge accomplishment.
It's Julio Rodriguez, baby. Hey, we're gonna take a little break. We'll be back for the second half. Subscribe, rate, and review on whatever podcast platform you listen to. We appreciate y'all. And thanks for listening. We'll be back soon.
I'm not no role model or nothing. I'm not trying to be, I want to travel around the world and chase famous models.